Welcome back to Upticks. I'm Jake Falcon, the founder and CEO of Falcon Wealth Advisors, and I'm joined by my permanent guest and co-founder, Cory Bittner, and our first guest to our world headquarters studio, pro golfer Chase Hanna. Chase, welcome to the show.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. It's a lovely office space you guys have here, and this is a nice setup here for the podcast.
Thank you. Yeah, Shuttlecock Studios. How about that Kansas City name? Little museum, little nod to the museum there. And Chase, you're a repeat visitor, so thank you for coming back. You were on episode actually 236 in March of 2023. So lots happened in your life in 2.5 years, roughly.
Yeah, a lot has happened. Yeah, I went back and revisited that. That was fun. I don't know if I ever actually watched it after I did it back in
Really, yeah.
So it was good to kind of see where my headspace was at the time, and good to be back.
Yeah, and you were newly married, and you're still married. So
yeah, still married. So that's a positive. Coming up on 3 years.
That's awesome.
On New Year's Eve.
Awesome. Well, today's topic is all things sports and money. So I'm real excited to talk about kind of your life as a pro golfer and get into some of the things that maybe our audience doesn't really understand that you have to manage as basically a business owner, right? Because that's golf is business for you also.
Right.
So if you're all right, I'd like to dive into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So again, if the audience wants to know more Chase's backstory, we've got all of that on episode 236. We want to move it forward here. But let's talk about real quick that transition from amateur golf in Kansas City and at the collegiate level to moving over to the pro level. You basically made it over in Europe, right? So you immediately jumped from playing here in Kansas and domestically, and then you're a pro in Europe. So you can talk a little bit about that transition with us?
Yeah, so I actually started. That's kind of how we met, was at Meadowbrook, where I grew up and really started to take the game seriously. Played basketball and golf all 4 years at Shawnee Mission East, and that was great. Still some of my best friends to this day. And then I went to Kansas, and I actually started out playing over in Latin America, or down in Latin America, on the PGA sanctioned tour. So it is the equivalent to like a AA tour. It was below the Korn Ferry, but it was a great start for my professional career. I was able to learn how to be a pro, not have to change time zones like I am now.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of an extension of the college game. It was a bunch of young guys down in Latin America playing. So I had a solid first year. I think I finished high enough where I was able to skip a stage of PGA Q school. And then played Korn Ferry and PGA Latin America in 2019. And then just kind of slowly progressed. And then in the fall of 19 is when I played both Q schools, both in the States and over in Europe, and then just happened to play better in Europe. So that's how I ended up in Europe. It certainly wasn't any strategic effort to go across the pond. It just kind of happened.
Right. Now, did your mindset have to change when golf has been your passion since you were a young kid from our last episode, but now it's your career. So has your mindset had to shift, Chase, or is it really just the same? You're trying to be a better golfer every year?
Yeah, to be honest, I tried to put my mindset more to when it was when I was taking Jake's money at Meadowbrook.
That's right, and that was pretty easy money for you.
That's when I had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and I think it's obviously, the shots mean more, but trying to just remember, why I loved the game and why I loved going out to the golf course, which ultimately, I was able to get to the level that I'm at and got to. Was due to the love of the game, not so much the outcomes or the results. So I try to actually regress in terms of how I used to view the game, as opposed to changing anything now that, it's what I do for a quote living.
it's hard, right? So you've got to free yourself up so that you can get better, which is probably very difficult. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's tough. So it's a lot of kind of right now. I'm kind of focusing on like the mental side more. I just feel like naturally golfers go through ups and downs and, different life events and stuff. So I think my physical tools and stuff like that haven't really changed a whole lot since college. I mean, they have, technically they've gotten a lot better, but more than anything, I seem to play my best when I'm in a good headspace.
Yeah, good. Cory, why don't you take us into the business of golf here?
Yeah. So while we talk about the business of golf, Jay, let me start just by asking, and I was revisiting the episode where you came on previously before, but what do you think that most people don't understand about the financial side of being a professional golfer?
Well, I think what they don't understand is unless you're a kind of can't miss, big time guy, most of us, unless you come from family money or something, or kind of have to sell some equity or whatever, a racehorse per se.
Okay.
So we'll go out and get members of our country club or people we know from growing up or whatever, and get us to help them to start off our career. So that's what I did when I started. I was fortunate to have a group of guys that backed me for 3 years and gave me the financial freedom to properly do it. If anyone asks, I always say, well, if you're going to play professional golf, like you can either say you're playing professional golf to girls you're trying to wheel at the bar,
Sure.
or you can actually properly do it.
Right.
So I was blessed where I felt like I properly did it, and am doing it. And so yeah, it's been a couple. It's been not my best couple years since I was last on the podcast, but trying to get back to that level that I once was at, and that requires a lot of planning, discipline, and definitely some financial planning.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we're full disclosure, we're a proud sponsor of you, Chase, and that's been a lot of fun to do. So sponsorships are pretty cut and dry, right? You get paid either per event or to use the ball, glove, or clubs or whatnot. Tell me a little bit more about this investment, because I know you're kind of drumming that back up as part of your team and what you guys are doing. So what does that normally look like? And we don't have to go over your specifics, but maybe just at a high level.
Usually you raise a number that you deem you need for the year. And
What's it look like generally? What's a number?
I would say, to do it right, depending on if you're counting your living expenses. So like when I started out, I was living at home, wasn't married. So that obviously changed a lot of things. And then would go down to Florida with my childhood instructor, Mark Nigro, who used to be out south in Martin City. So I'd go down in the winters with him in Florida, where he's retired. So I didn't have too many living expenses. But now you're needing probably to do it, the way that you probably need to do it. You probably need about 200 roughly a year. That gives you the ability to play, all the Q schools you need to play. And that obviously gives you, that's high, but it gives you the ability to live where you need to live, whether it be Florida, Arizona, or whatever, and have a quality team around you, and just feel like you're not subconsciously skimping on things that you need to do to get to the highest level.
Right. So do people buy shares, or is it literally like you win money, they win money, or how does this?
Yeah, that's how it worked out when I started. For full disclosure, I did it was 75-25 I kept until it was met the principal. Then it was 50-50 till they doubled their money, and then it was 90-10. So that was the deal in the contract. Look, most of the people were very close friends. I told them, if you're doing this for an investment, then you need to go see Jake.
Right.
But obviously, I was, fortunate that the group that backed me to begin, I think, made back their money and some a little bit. So that was obviously fun for all involved, and keeps you accountable as the player, gives you a little bit of motivation to do well for the people who have backed you, and then it also gives me the freedom to know that if I miss a couple cuts in a row, I don't have to change my lifestyle for the next week. I can continue to do what needs to be done to get to the level I want to go to.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so you've got to have this bigger picture. And I can only imagine there's probably some guys and gals out there literally living tournament to tournament, right? And that's no way to.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And there's great stories. And I think when we were kind of reviewing what we were going to talk about today, there's a lot to be said for having financial pressure, because I think that, at least I think I need a little bit more of that, and just in terms of like, let's go here. We gotta do this. At the end of the day, this is what you do for a living. So I think there's tons of stories of people doing a model like that. I think for all the amazing stories you hear where people do that, there's a lot more crash out and burns.
Yeah.
But yeah, people do it a lot of different ways in my industry and in the golf world.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun sponsoring you, because even though I'm not an investor, I love rooting for you, just because I know you and I like you, I consider you a friend, but also my name's on your shirt, and if you're on TV, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
and so it's fun, and I think it's great. So if people want more information on sponsoring Chase, or even getting into an investment with him, again, this is no pit. Again, this is not a solicitation. We're not endorsing any of that, but simply email Luke at falconwealthadvisors.com, and Luke can certainly get you in touch with Chase. But I agree. we wouldn't consider it an investment, Chase. People putting money with you, like a horse race, we would consider it gambling.
Yeah, right.
And that's okay. And Cory's a big anti-gambler. Don't get him on his soapbox. But
I actually kind of wanted to talk about that today, but no.
But this is different because you're actually helping a local person fulfill their dream. And that's why we sponsored you, because I can't play golf nearly as good as you. And that's okay. But maybe I'm living vicariously through you, or I'm getting to support you. And maybe one day you can say, remember when, right? And that's it. And that's all I'm doing it for. And I would assume the people that throw money at you for a horse race type environment, same thing. They are, in essence, gambling a little bit.
Right.
But when you succeed, they succeed, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So let me ask this, Chase. It sounds like there's been, obviously your career, as it's gone on longer, like the whole approach to money has evolved some. Like, how is that continuing to evolve for you when you think about your career?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure a whole lot has changed in terms of how I look at specifically my golf. And I guess if you kind of transition that into like more personal or different, like you have kind of different views of it. I'm obviously married now. My wife and I joke all the time that we're talking about gambling. I'm the gambler in the family.
Yeah.
She's the more, she's definitely the more conservative, has the job, that pays her a salary. And she's fortunate to have a great job. She works for Ernst & Young.
Yeah.
So shout out Ernst & Young. I've been able to meet a lot of great people. She's been in the golf world a little bit with Ernst & Young. She's Ernie Els is sponsored by the company, and so it's been cool to get to know him a little bit.
We need to get you on that sponsorship.
Yeah, I know. We're actually we're actually the same club in Florida, so I see
you?
Ernie a few times a year, and
that's cool.
We've developed that connection. So yeah, I think that has definitely changed. Naturally, when you get married, you start to pool your money and have those conversations about family planning and all that. But nothing drastically has changed. I feel like I was instilled great principles by my parents in terms of finances. And now I'm kind of learning about talking to you guys or whatever, like about money and how to grow it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So there's got to be, how many years have you been on like touring as a professional now? 5 years?
No, I graduated in 17, so 18. In 20, I had my professional debut at the Corn Ferry event here in town.
Right.
I think it might have even been web.com back then. So I've been a
7,
pro
8
since
years.
the summer of 17.
Wow, so 8 years now.
8 years,
That's
yeah.
fantastic. So there's got to be younger guys that are coming up with you that you're playing with. Do you guys ever talk about money when you're out there? Do you give advice, I guess, to younger players out there on like things that maybe you would have done differently, or things that you've done well that you would suggest they do the same?
Yeah, I mean, I will if they ask. Usually if they're, I've been playing on a sanctioned tour now, fortunately, since I started. So usually if they're out there, they usually know what they're doing. If they ask, yeah, I'll certainly help them out. But usually they're, a lot of these guys are coming from, I'm thinking of the young guys I played with this year on the Hotel Planner Tour, who are the Americans. I mean, they're usually the best. I played with a Peruvian. He's the best, probably Peruvian out
Right.
there. There's a guy who played at Notre Dame who's a super bright guy. He's a very good player. He's a young guy. There was another KU player who, I don't know, is about 5 years younger than me. He played with me this year. Those guys have kind of seen how from their perspective, they've seen how the older guys have done it, and they've mostly modeled it off of what my generation has done. And some have gone different ways, whether they have their family back them or whatever. So I would say there's no correct way to do it or wrong way to do it. There's a lot of variety, and that's certainly in the macro, the sense of golf. There's a lot of different ways to swing the club, and there's certainly a lot of different ways to do it from a financial side.
Yeah, that's good. I think golfers it's harder, I would think, to make money in the golf industry versus like NBA or MLB or NFL. And you hear about all these pro athletes losing all their money, but you guys aren't getting $50 million contracts, right? You kind of earn your money as you go.
Yeah.
So unless you're like a top 20, you're just a phenom that comes out and crushes it. So the good news, I think, with golfers is you learn as you make more money how to manage that money as you make it. Just like any other career that you progress and make more money, you've got to learn how to manage it as it comes. So that's good. That's good. What's next on here, Cory?
So you talked a little bit about this earlier, Chase, but I'm curious, does financial pressure ever affect your performance on the course? Is it something you think about?
Yeah, I think I kind of touched on that earlier. Yeah. I think if anything, it helps. Okay. Yeah, I've always, the reason I've kind of thought I could play at a professional level is I always play much better, and I have much more fun when we're playing for something.
When there's pressure on.
You know, I don't really enjoy. Maybe it's because I do it for a living, but I don't really enjoy like the social golf rounds. Like, you know, if I want to be
You've done
social, I
those,
want to
yeah.
go to like the bar and have some drinks and watch sports.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I'd rather go out there and have a cutthroat game or whatever. So yeah, I think of like I was driving past Mission Hills to come here today. Like I think of some of the best days of me playing were either playing with my buddies after school at the East, or even just recently like playing money games at Mission Hills against a hodgepodge of characters. Like that's what is fun to me about the game. So yeah, I would say if anything, yeah, I'd like to play. I like the idea of playing for money when it has consequence. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Do the Europeans see that the same way? Because I feel like a lot of American golfers are that way, and you've
Yeah.
obviously spent a majority of your career in Europe. Are you guys playing for cash in between tournaments, like practice rounds and things? Is that going on over there, or no?
Not really, just because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday can be better utilized.
Practicing?
Sometimes if you need like the competitive fire, you'll play a 9-hole match for whatever, $20, $50 a hole or something, just to have that. Usually, I kind of like to do that because that gets you in a good mindset on like Wednesdays to then take into Thursday. But usually, if you're playing the long game, you'd rather spend the time and the energy learning the golf course and maybe doing some technical work or, rest or we're getting in the gym or whatever, then kind of grinding over a 3-footer is fine on a Wednesday. But, sometimes you have plenty of that. If you're playing 5 weeks in a row, like
you're getting that all the
you're
time.
getting
Plenty
that
of
all the time.
opportunities for that. Yeah.
Right. Good. Chase, is there anything we haven't brought up that you want to talk about so far? We got more coming, but
no, I think we're good.
good. Corey, why don't you lead us to the next one here?
All right. So let me ask you this question. We've talked about money some obviously here, but have you seen any examples of peers, whether it's been smart decision making or poor decision making, that's had a lasting impact for them?
Yeah, I can't really think of any poor decisions other than maybe kind of like I mentioned earlier, folks will do it or players will do it who say they're a pro golfer, but they really don't have the financial plan. I know that's something you guys really preach and do a great job of, but I think it's so true. Is they'll start the year, saying, "Hey, I'm going to play these amount of tournaments," and they won't have any resemblance of a financial plan. So that puts a lot of stress on them as a player, but it also puts a lot of unknown on actually what they're going to do throughout the year. So I think planning at the start of it doesn't have to be a calendar year. It can be the start of a golf season. But at least having a plan is something certainly that I think a lot of guys could have instituted that are probably no longer playing.
That makes sense.
And then from the people that have done it correctly, I think they just have they've invested in themselves, and that's kind of something that I'm getting back to is really needing to invest in myself. And yeah, if you're going to be a professional golfer, you might as well do it because you're not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to do this forever. So hopefully, look back on these years and be like, hey, I did it properly and everything I could.
Yeah. What kind of team do you have around you now that you're focused on to invest in yourself?
So I'm kind of making the sell to the wife to move down to Florida more full time. So we're going to spend quite a bit of time there this winter.
What part of Florida are we in?
Tequesta, just north of Jupiter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm fortunate to be a member at Turtle Creek down there, which is a great spot. And obviously that's where tons of professional golfers are. So the culture is great for me in terms of guys to push me, guys that are way above, where I'm at right now. And also, a lot of guys that are, even below me trying to climb the mountain. So I think it's a great culture for me to be in. And there's a lot of different people down there who I think are able to help me just because, my industry is kind of either in Arizona or, Southeast Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your plan then? So you've had DP, you've been on the hotel planner. So I know you're kind of, like you said, any golfer will know it does this, right? Even at the pro level. So what's your plan look like for 2026? What's your plan mapped out?
Kind of going through that process right now. So I don't really have a solid plan. I'm willing to kind of speak out loud right now, but it'll look something like the macro goal is I just need a little bit of time to build up the machine per se. I look back at COVID and just made some incredible strides here in Kansas City with the help of the golf stable and Kevin Ward here in town. So I couldn't, speak more highly of them in terms of what I was able to accomplish when I was here, and had the I was so frustrated for various reasons. I wasn't able to progress up the ladder, but I look back at that time, and that time served me so well in terms of getting stronger, making some technical changes, and building up the machine to then take on the road when the world opened up. So that's kind of my macro goal for the next 4 to 5 months is. Really, since that time, I've been kind of traveling the world like a madman, for better or for worse.
Sure.
Right.
And so I think I need a little bit of time to build up the machine. So that's kind of the macro point of what I'm going to do the next 4 or 5 months or so.
Got it. Then it'll be like Monday qualifiers or
no, I still got status over in Europe, so I'll play a little bit of Hotel Planner Tour this year, and then we'll see if I play Live Promotions coming up in January. That's a decision that unfortunately I don't have or control. So Liv will make that call if I'm able to play in that tournament. And then I'm trying not to look at it too much specifically about which tours I'm playing, because I know that if I put the effort in and the time and the really just the energy, that I'll be able to get my game back to where it needs to be to play at the highest level.
Which is crazy because you're probably stroke average is 1 or 2 better. You'd be right there. Isn't that how close it is with you guys?
Yeah, I think it is close, but I think I've had about 2-3 weeks since my Q school season has ended, and it's just kind of apparent to me that I've been, golfers get into this weird mental frame where they just think like, oh, the next week they're going to catch it, the next week they're going to catch it, and I think golfers should do that. Like they should take every opportunity they get to play. And especially when my home base is here in Kansas City and I'm over in Europe, it's hard to justify flying home for a week or 2 and then flying back. So
you might as well play while you're
you might as well just play.
Right.
Keep going. We're fortunate on the DP World Tour, and especially, I'll just speak for the DP World Tour, like how can you get better facilities anywhere, whether it be Florida, Arizona, or Kansas City? Like you have, usually an elite level gym, you have an elite range, you have like everything you need. You have unbelievable food. It's like you might as well just stay on tour. Like tour's pretty good.
Yeah, right. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so we obviously wish you the best of luck. Cory, is there any other questions we missed?
Yeah, what's had the biggest influence on you, Chase? I mean, you've talked about it some, but whether it's just the way that you approach the game, the way that you plan for the year ahead, when you're thinking about your career, who or what has been most influential for you?
Oh man, there's tons of people that have been influential. My grandfather got me started in the game at a young age, so without him, I probably would have never gotten into golf to begin with, because my dad's really not much of a golfer. He played tennis growing up, and my mom, wasn't a golfer. So without him, I definitely probably wouldn't have played golf. And then obviously you're from Kansas City. How can Tom Watson not be an inspiration, especially with the Watson Challenge and all that? So you kind of learn that, hey, this is a guy who was the best at what he did. So how can that not? And he did it from Kansas City. So if he can do it from living in Kansas City, why can't you? And then, in terms of, obviously Gary's an inspiration to all of us KU golfers. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure there's like one guy who I necessarily model myself after, but I think all those guys together is, I look at the state of Kansas City golf and the area golf compared to when I was, and it just seems like there's more and more and more Division I talent and even guys playing at the professional level than there was, say, 20, 30 years ago.
Agreed. It's crazy how much better the golf. Even I moved here 19 years ago, and there wasn't that many good golfers in Kansas City, and now it's tons of them.
Yeah,
and there's just more and more every year, which is awesome. What is retire? I mean, you're young and you've got a long runway, but what will retirement look like for you? Like a successful one? Have you thought about that yet?
Yeah, I think, my wife and I would like to start a family here soon, and I would say just, family is great. Retiring, right? Being able to spend time with them. I don't know. I think it's being able to spend money in areas that is close to your heart, and you're able to. It's not going to the grave with a lot of money. That's something I don't really believe in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's being able to spend money on areas close to your heart and people that mean a lot to you, and really be able to help out causes that you deem are important to you
That's awesome.
from a value perspective.
I know from our previous show or just talking to you that you really value experiences. So in the last couple of
Yeah.
years, have you had some crazy? Did you go to an awesome concert or?
We went to oh my goodness, we just went to a country concert. My mom is a huge country music fan, so I definitely have that trait in me. I like going to country music concerts. Sporting events are great. I'm gonna take my dad to the KU-MU game upcoming.
Fantastic.
So that stuff. Yeah, we grew up. I still remember going to that Todd Reesing Chase Daniel game.
Oh wow,
back
you
in
were a little guy
2007.
then too, weren't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, my dad took me to that. So I'll repay the favor coming up here for the basketball game.
Yeah,
Nice.
good for
Yeah.
you. That's
Yeah.
great. Perfect. Anything else, Cory?
I don't think so. Do you have anything else, Chase?
No, I think it's been great. Thanks for having me.
We're super excited for you,
Yeah.
Chase, and proud sponsors. And like I said, if there's any other way we can support you or audience, let us know. But good luck and have
Great.
fun in Florida. That's
Great.
going to be really nice down there this time of year.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chase.